What I'm about to share with you is some of the most insightful tips you would have ever gotten on day game approaches, code approaches, street approaches. Firstly, I must start by saying you do not need a girl to stop in order to game her on the go. You can actually game moving targets, moving sets. I remember a while back I had an argument with Squatting Casanova. He had commented on one of my videos by making an asinine statement that Kenny, none of the girls ever stop in the videos where you're gaming them. So he actually tried to use that as a way to poke fun at me, as to say, well, my game is weak because the girls I'm gaming are not engaging. But that is totally not the case. When you're gaming in the busy city, most girls are going to be on the go, on a move. They have places to go. So it's not all the time that you could be this guy who's coming in as a deterrent trying to keep them off their path. So you must be able to game girls on the go. And that is the height of game. That is the hilt of game. You must be able to adapt and adapt to the girl's let's say her disposition at the moment. She's in a rush, she's grabbing the bus, she's hitting the train, wherever she is, she's on her way to work. You have to be able to maneuver that shit and game a girl on the go. Literally on the fucking fly. You don't have to stop a girl all the time while trying to game her up. Alright, that is it's pretty regressive if you want to be honest. So if you're trying to game moving targets, here are the best set of tips that you can do when trying to get that shit done. Firstly, realize that you don't have to stop the girl. You want to pace her instead. You want to walk with the girl if she's walking, whether she's walking fastly, slowly. You want to keep walking with her. And then, if anything, the only case where you look to stop a girl is if she herself stops or she slows down. Then you naturally slower your pace and you stop and you carry the interaction. But if she's obviously in a rush, or both of y'all are walking, in a certain pace, walking fast or whatnot, you don't necessarily have to stop that flow. You can game the girl on the go. Use your usual stick, your usual stuff, wherever it is, whatever type of game you use it as though the girl is there, standing, engaging you face to face. All right? Now, getting a girl to stop is ideal, but it isn't necessary, as I already explained in the previous segment. Getting her to stop is ideal. It's not necessary. Now, here's one of my favorite techniques that I invented about 2-3 years ago when it comes to street approaches and so forth, day game in general. Whenever I'm about to go for the number close, and this is about 9 and 10 times, when I'm about to go for the number close, I always hand check the girl, before, and that would actually stop her. Let's say we've already chatted for 3-4 minutes, and for whatever reason, she's in a rush, I'm in a rush, and I'm about to go for the number close to exchange numbers or whatnot. I would hand check the girl in order for her to stop. It's very simple. I would literally tap the girl on the wrist, or anywhere on the arm, even a forearm or shoulder. Anyway, between that region, I would lightly tap the girl in order to get her attention. Let's say we're walking side to side, and in order to get her attention to stop, I would just hand check her on the wrist, and she would stop. I would come to a halt, and she would halt also. So that is a great way in getting a girl to stop. You can hand check them, and it's very simple. 100% of the times the girl will stop, because at that point you would have already had compliance on the girl. You'd have already been chatting, conversation is flowing, and the fact that you're going for a number close would mean that the vibe is already sizzling, or at least semi-sizzling. So with that, you can simply do the hand check and the girl is likely to stop. So that is one of my favorite techniques when going for the number close. Ideally, you would want the girl to stop, especially upon getting the number close, but it isn't necessary. And check out how I do the hand check with these few infield clips.
1 second. Anyway,
Alright, so the primary thing you should be mindful of when trying to go for the number close at the end of the interaction with a moving target during the street game is you want to gauge how long it is before the set closes. In other words, it'll be advantageous if you find out where the girl is actually heading to and how far it is that she's going, so you can gauge or get a better sense of how long you have, how much time you have before you can actually pull. or you can actually get the number or go for the instant date, whatever it is. So if you know that you have 3 more blocks to go, 50 yards to go, 5 minutes to go, you know how to gauge it and pace it well while the set is moving, and then you pull for the number. Because this has happened to me before where, let's say I didn't gauge that correctly, and next thing you know, I'm walking with the girl 5 minutes, the vibe is bubbly, everything is great, and then the girl just boom, shoots into a store, or she shoots into the fucking subway or something, and I totally lose the girl because I didn't gauge it, or I didn't find out prior how long I had before I was able to pull. So upon the approach, you want to find out from the girl, basically where it is she's going. You don't want to exactly ask, where are you going? Because that would be a bit prying, or is pretty much not your fucking business. But you want to frame it in a way that's like, you seem like you're in a rush. Your boss is not, your boss is not going to fire you if you are 5 minutes late. And if the girl is not going to work, she's going to say something like, oh no, I wasn't going to work. I got to meet my brother. He's at a store, blah, 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 blah. It's 5 minutes away. She's going to give you the details. All right. So in that sense, you would be able to gauge how long you have before you can close. All right. So be mindful of that when it comes to street game and game and moving targets. In summary, don't be afraid to approach the so-called harder sets. The girls who are moving mobile, don't be afraid to approach them. Because a lot of guys, what they do is they go for the so-called easier targets by approaching girls who are stationary, standing at a bus stop, the girls who are, let's say, standing in line at a restaurant, wherever have you. Guys are intimidated to approach girls who are on the go. And it usually flusters guys, because I remember one time I had a student, and this is it generally happens. I was out with a student the other day, and I told him to go approach some sets, just as a warm-up. And what he did was, he literally stood there trying to stop girls instead of pacing them and walking with them, and then try to chat them up and game the girl that way. He stood there like, can I talk? One second. And the girls are just floating by, walking by, floating by. They have shit to do. They have places to go. That's why it is so disadvantageous to try to stop girls instead of pacing them. So guys, again, in summary, game the girls on the go. If she's already on the move, you want to walk with her, pace her, and then you eventually get the girl to stop, if anything. But if you don't, it's not necessary. You can simply game her on the move. And again, try to gauge how far it is she has to go. Gauge where it is she's going, whether she's going to a supermarket that's a block away, a place that you're familiar with. So you know how long you have the window in order to grab the girl's number or try to instigate her. And again, utilize the hand check. If you're trying to get the girl to stop upon grabbing her phone number, hand check her. Just touch her on the wrist, touch her on the shoulder, touch her on the forearm. And that will get her to stop. You want to break up right away, and she will break up. But in order to do this, you need a certain level of compliance, and that is where most guys go wrong when they try to get a girl to stop upon the initial approach. The girl doesn't know you. She doesn't have any idea about you. You have no compliance of value in her eyes, so she's not going to be prone to stopping. I mean, 6 in 10 times she will stop. I mean, because it's just human curiosity. But you have no compliance, so it's best to walk with her, warm her up, charm her up a bit, and then she would eventually look to break up and stop, or you hand check her and she stopped. Alright, so rewatch the video for these 3 main tips in street approaches during day game. Alright, now I got a little day game video for y'all. Me pulling the girl on the go. This is a moving target, moving set, and you might have seen this video before in the long 2, 3, 4 hour day game video I had, but I just show y'all this one clip to distill it down to basically one approach. So check out the approach of me gaming and picking up a girl on the go.